Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 392. If you're keeping track, hope everyone's doing great today, now that we're well into May, my favorite month, maybe because my birthday is coming up in a few weeks, though travel picks up for me as well, so a little tiring. Going back to Italy and then to Taipei for Computex, a big convention. I know, little violins. All right. But hey, we have a great show for you this week with 4 different topics. Speaking of travel, I was in New York on Tuesday doing some TV interviews tied to Small Business Week, which is next week. And so I showcased some cool tech, which I'll tell you about today in about 15 minutes from now. Before then, to kick off Tech It Out today, after New York, I went to San Francisco to Visa's much-hyped showcase called Product Drop, where we learned about a super cool and innovative way to shop in the near future, coming in a couple of months, that leverages AI agents who can not just research products and services for you, but through your Visa card, actually make the purchase. With your consent, of course. It's a huge time saver. And so we're going to start Tech It Out with an interview about that. At Visa's event, I caught up with Rubail Birwadker. He's head of growth products and partnerships at Visa. Also on the show today, I chat with networking giants TP-Link about what's new in routers, Wi-Fi 7 being the new standard. We'll talk mesh and extenders and other smart home gear that they have as well. They're best known for routers and such, home networking, but they have many other cool products. And finally, we'll get our game on with San Diego Studio. That's the team behind MLB The Show 25, the new video game for PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out. Powered by Visa, securing the world's payments is priority one. And speaking of Visa, let's officially kick off the brand new show with our first interview recorded at Visa's Product Drop. All right, so as I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm here at Visa's Product Drop in San Francisco, learning all about Visa's forward-thinking payment solutions for customers and businesses alike, fusing technology with finance. I'm here with Rubail Birwadker, Senior Vice President, Head of Growth for Products and Partnerships at Visa. Pleasure to meet you, Rubail. Thanks so much for your time.
Likewise, and thank you for coming.
And apologies to our listeners. There's a little bit of ambient noise. This is a big event that you're hosting here in San Francisco. Congrats, by the way. As a techie and as a Visa customer, this is pretty exciting stuff. So I guess the big news was called, collectively, Visa Intelligent Commerce. At a high level, tell us a bit about this.
Sure. So the way we look at the world is today, we have 4+ billion Visa cards around the world, over 150 million Visa accepting merchants. Today, you could, if you have a Visa card in your wallet, which I hope you do, you could get on a plane, go to about 200 countries around the world, and you could seamlessly use your Visa card, and it works exactly the same way with the magic of what we call how the Visa network brings. The reality is, as that physical commerce translates into an e-commerce environment, translates into a mobile commerce environment, we try to bring that same consumer experience, which is frictionless, high trust, in a way that you know that your money is safe, working with the Visa brand. How do we make sure that that exact same seamless experience and seamless and ubiquitous experience also translates into a AI platform-driven world? And we've been very, very focused on bringing that experience, working with our partners like OpenAI, like Perplexity, like Anthropic over the past several months, and figuring out like how do we bring that magic of the 4 billion plus Visa credentials to work seamlessly at 150 million Visa plus accepting merchants, seamlessly in a native context in these AI platforms.
All right, so 60 odd years ago, you started using this piece of plastic to buy things at retail. Then in the 90s, started to buy things online. You hinted at the mobile revolution, using your smartphone to purchase and transact. And now we're entering this agentic or AI-driven world. I think a lot of my listeners have experimented with ChatGPT and maybe others like Google Gemini. There's Microsoft Copilot. There's Apple Intelligence. So they're interacting, generative AI. So they're interacting by typing typing in a prompt or using their voice to ask something like, build me a 3-day itinerary in Paris, France. But Visa is taking it to the next level because what would typically happen is the AI may recommend a hotel, they may recommend a restaurant and an excursion, maybe a deal on flights, but it stops at the point of purchase. This is the problem that Visa is looking to resolve?
That's exactly right. I think our view of the world is it's not really commerce unless you've actually solved the payment component of a discovery process that a consumer goes through when they're trying to sort of like go through a process of either booking an itinerary, buying a bag, or trying to pay for a goods or a service that they really, really want. And we want to make sure that that payments piece is seamless and it's really, really integrated in a clean and trusted way with the discovery process while still bringing a lot of control in the hands of the consumer.
All right, so let's stick with that example of buying a 3-day weekend, a getaway with your family. So with a partner like OpenAI, soon, I believe this year, I'll be able to do just that. If I have a Visa card, unless I need a special kind of card, maybe you can talk about that because I believe it was said today on stage there are AI-powered cards. I don't know if that's already in existence or coming soon, but the idea is that I will say I want a room for 4 that's not too expensive, but by the beach, and I want a steakhouse that night, and then I'll be actually prompted to pay for it right then and there.
Yeah, the simplest way to think about it, to just directly answer your question, our goal is that any Visa card should actually work. We call it like AI-driven cards mostly because we're making sure that our technology works with our existing cardholder base.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, absolutely. In a way that it actually seamlessly operates in an AI environment. That's one. So in the itinerary example that you just gave us, a very simple example would be maybe you have a card on file already with ChatGPT or a different AI platform. Maybe you don't. You decide to enter it. And the way our technology works is we take that card, we create a tokenized version of it. So like, your PII and your card number is like not like floating around in the Ethernet, sitting with an agent or a piece of software you don't want it to. And then that piece, that tokenized transaction, which is then authenticated to exactly who you are, then is associated with any purchase intent that you have. So say, for example, you're like, I want to buy a North Face bag, or I want to go stay at this hotel under $300. We captured that intent in a number of variables at the time of your intent happens. Then it associates itself with the card. The agent goes and finds the thing that you really wanted to buy. It confirms back with us and says, it's under $500, it's at the Wyndham in Miami. We do the matching, and only then we enable and give the power of the card to be actually used with that agent to go complete the purchase on your behalf.
All right, so like you said earlier, trust is a huge component. Visa has already earned the trust, I would argue, with billions of customers around the world, but AI makes people nervous, and so that transaction would not be processed until you can verify it. When you see with your own eyes that that hotel is exactly $299 a night, it didn't jump to $499, and that agent, as you called it, that AI assistant that's booking that room for you, isn't going to go ahead and process your card for the amount that you didn't approve.
That's exactly right, except the way it would actually work is we will capture your intent at the time of you asking us, and we're going to automatically make sure that we match it back before we allow the agent to have the agency to use your money and your credential for that specific transaction. And again, this is all going to happen in a matter of milliseconds, no different than a purchase experience happens in a physical environment or an e-commerce environment on your mobile phone or your web.
Right. The devil is in the details, as they say. So it's tokenization and then authentication through a password or your face or other kind of biometrics authentication or verification.
That's right. So like our goal here is to make sure that the card is ultimately tied to the device for that app specifically for a consumer.
We are chatting with Rubail Birwadker. He is Senior Vice President, Head of Growth for Products and Partnerships at Visa. It's a little noisy here. I apologize. We're here at the Visa Product Drop 2025 in San Francisco. There are several journalists and analysts here, as well as other partners of yours like banks and other financial institutions. It's big news. So it's called Visa Intelligent Commerce is the collective term, agentic shopping, in other words. And certainly other credit card issuers want to get on board because this is a huge opportunity, if they haven't already. So I guess, or follow-up question would be, why Visa?
The way we think about it is, and almost everything that we build is deeply rooted in data, right? I think Jack today during a presentation at the product drop shared that we we know for a fact, as a data point, that over 1 billion users around the world are now starting their discovery journey on AI or AI-led platforms, which means a lot of commerce is going to get translated when consumers start their discovery journey on these places. This is not a hypothetical. It's just data that we're working with. We also do a bunch of consumer research, and consumers are very, very clear. Like almost 2 out of 3 consumers tell us that they love using platforms like this. They love, figuring out what to shop, what to buy, and they want a trusted environment where they can continue that journey from not just finding the things they want to pay for, but also doing it in a trusted, seamless, frictionless way.
All right, so I think we've covered Visa Intelligent Commerce quite a bit, Rubail, but I would love to end off on some of the other big announcements. Crypto maybe isn't mainstream at this point, but more and more people around the world are embracing it, and not just to buy it and hold it, but to transact with it. Could you tell us a bit about the crypto announcement today and stablecoin? Maybe it's an extension of what was announced by Visa last year.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good question. And look, we are big believers that stablecoin technology has a lot of good benefit for the payment ecosystem.
A couple more minutes with Rubail after this short break. In fact, I'm going to ask him to first clarify what stable coins are and what the new announcement was from Visa. I'm also going to ask him to look into his crystal ball and tell us what transacting is going to look like by the year 2030. Maybe it's going to be through smart glasses and using voice-based AI agents and all that. All right, we'll see. And after we wrap up with Rubail, as I mentioned earlier, we've got 3 more topics to get to after that. And so a very busy Tech It Out to get to this hour. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Just about 2.5 minutes left with Rubail Birwadker from Visa. I caught up with him at the Visa product drop in San Francisco on Wednesday to learn all about a new initiative, Visa Intelligent Commerce, which is agentic shopping, having AI agents not just research products and services for you based on your prompts, but actually purchase them with your permission. Before the break, Rubail, we were starting to talk about stablecoins and crypto. Please continue your thought.
So a stablecoin really is a digital representation, and it's tied to or a peg to a certain commodity, whether it could be a US dollar or a European euro or a British pound or a different commodity. Primarily, the stablecoin technology that we've been speaking about and the work that we've been doing has been focused on the work that we've done with USDC and like the US-backed stablecoins that we're working with currently. And, we work with a lot of banks very closely, and it is
14,500 of them.
14,500 of them is exactly right. And a good example of that is some of the work that we're doing with BBVA, where they want to issue their own stable coin for a number of use cases that they want to try out on their end. And they're working with us very closely to help them mint and burn some of those stable coins. And we intend to sort of bring that technology and financial infrastructure for stable coins to other banks in the coming future.
All right, Rubail, last question. Fast forward 5 years, okay? It's 2030. How will transactions look?
I'm going to try and stay out of the speculation land, and I'm going to stick to the things that I understand best, which is how commerce and payments sort of evolve together. And this is what I believe is going to happen. Hopefully, we're going to, again, continue to evolve into an era where we have more and more frictionless commerce, regardless of where a consumer wants to start their journey and they want to pay for, whether it's an e-commerce environment, a web environment, a mobile environment, or an AI-driven environment. And hopefully, we want to make sure that the control and privacy is going to continue to stay with the consumer so they can trust how they're using their Visa credentials. And, we want to bring that value and trust and the promise of our brand to billions of Visa cardholders around the world.
It must be a challenge, though, because on one hand, you want to transact quickly, microseconds, right? Because the consumer doesn't want to wait. They're impatient. But on the flip side, you don't want to be responsible for fraud. Obviously it makes sense, a company like Visa, nor does the customer want to deal with that, or the business that's selling that item. So it's kind of like a catch-22. How do you provide a seamless, fast, yet also secure, frictionless purchase for both the consumer and the business?
You said that right. These are all trade-offs, but we are obsessive about the consumer experience and the kind of experience our cardholders face, and try to make it as seamless, as frictionless as possible. The things that we do really, really well.
Awesome, Rubail. Great to meet you and chat with you. Thanks so much for your time. I encourage our listeners to head on over to visa.com and click on news or tap on news to get all the details for Visa Intelligent Commerce.
Thank you so much for coming.
So as I mentioned earlier in the show, I had a lot of fun on Tuesday in New York doing TV interviews across the country tied to Small Business Week. And so I wanted to share with you what I showed on TV. Let's start with laptops. The HP EliteBook X Flip G1i is a lightweight yet powerful and secure laptop that includes a flexible 14-inch touchscreen. Under the hood, it has an Intel Core Ultra processor offering up to 48 TOPS of NPU power. Forgive the geek speak. In plain English, this accelerates your AI workloads to help you get more done in less time and with all-day battery life. On a related note, this EliteBook also features HP AI Companion. It's an award-winning tool for personalization and document summarization. As for printers, the HP OfficeJet Pro 9125E all-in-one is perfect for small and medium-sized businesses because it delivers reliable and fast performance, up to 22 pages per minute, in fact. There's also a large 250-sheet input tray, duplex scanning via an automatic document feeder, and seamless mobile and app-based printing. When you couple that with the HP Instant Ink subscription service, small and medium-sized businesses can save up to 50% on printing costs as replacement ink is sent out to you when the OfficeJet Pro detects it's running low. Super convenient. Next up, some software. Businesses can simplify financial management with Quicken Business and Personal. It's designed to meet the needs of self-employed and small business owners by allowing you to seamlessly manage all your business and personal finances from one app. It lets you effortlessly manage cash flow, invoice clients, manage deductions, and of course, prepare for tax season. Let's face it, no business owner should have bookkeeping stress on their minds. And yes, Quicken Business and Personal can help you manage finances for up to 10 businesses alongside your personal accounts at a low monthly cost. In fact, it's usually $7.99 a month to start. It's now down to under $4 a month for a limited time. Next up, video communication. The HP 625 FHD webcam delivers full HD resolution, a wide 77-degree field of view, and automatic low-light correction, helping small business owners show up sharp and clear in every meeting, whether it's a client pitch or a virtual team huddle. It quickly connects to a laptop or desktop via USB-C or with an included USB-A adapter in the box. It has a privacy shutter for when you're not using the webcam and an activity light that shines when you are visible. An underrated feature of the HP 625, in my opinion, is a microphone with AI noise reduction for distraction-free audio. And yes, that includes barking dogs in the background for those who work at home. And then finally, I ended off on good lighting. I showed the True Red Brightwell 5-in-1 productivity light by Staples, designed for those who work at home or in an office setting, or both, as the adjustable light can boost productivity, enhance focus, and promote well-being. It's under $40 at staples.com, so it's an affordable and portable light that provides 5 unique lighting modes: meeting, focus, happy, breathing, and busy. It's a great tool to help guide you through your entire workday. If you want to see videos of these products, head on over to inthenews.tv. Again, that's inthenews.tv. Happy Small Business Week. More Tech It Out when we return.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. We're now well into spring, so fresh air during outside walks, maybe getting your garden ready, cleaning your grill for barbecue season cookouts, and of course, baseball is back. And that includes the premier baseball video game as well. To unwind after a long day at the office or after some homework, MLB The Show 25 has stepped up to the plate. And to tell us all about this year's game, we're joined on the line by Ramone Russell, Director of Product Development, Communications, and Brand Strategy at San Diego Studio. That's the team behind the MLB The Show franchise. Welcome back to the show, Ramone. Good to chat with you again.
It's good to chat with you as well. Thank you for having us again.
So, hey, before we talk about what's new with MLB The Show 25, please give us a high-level look at MLB The Show, the franchise as a whole.
Well, it is the 20th anniversary of MLB The Show this year, coincidentally. So we've been making baseball video games at the San Diego studio for over 20 years. I mean, it's one of the longest standing successful franchises in the PlayStation portfolio. And we've been really lucky to continue to work on this amazing game that we all love and try to bring a digital version to our fans across, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch.
It used to be a PlayStation exclusive. Now you're making this game available on other platforms as well, which is really great for those who may opt for a different platform. So for those who have played the game in the past, but not this year's version yet, please tell us what's new with MLB The Show 25.
As I alluded to about our pedigree and history of making baseball games for so long, I think with every game, including sports game, it always boils down to gameplay. Everything starts and ends with gameplay. If the gameplay is not good, it doesn't matter, what else you put in the game. So we've been very lucky. Our senior gameplay director has been the same for the entirety of the franchise. And so every year we lead with gameplay, and MLB The Show 25 is no different. We added hundreds of new gameplay animations, hundreds of new presentation animations. We added a new hitting method called ambush hitting, where you can look inside and outside. And for our crazy hardcore fans who love that challenge, we even added a crazy difficulty mode called GOAT difficulty. And so there's so much to discover in gameplay alone, but it doesn't stop there. All those changes you'll notice in Road to the Show. This is the first time where you can start out in high school and then end up choosing to go to college in Road to the Show. Franchise mode received a lot of love, and as always, our fan favorite game mode, Diamond Dynasty, is back. Sets and seasons are no more. We have this really crazy, interesting feature called Diamond Quest, which our fans are really, really loving. And last but not least, we're introducing Storyline Season 3, where we educate, enlighten, and inspire by introducing our fan base to a new set of Negro League legends, which they probably haven't heard about.
Right. So season 3 of that, which is really great for storylines. And you've touched on some of my favorite modes like Road to the Show, Diamond Dynasty. There's also, of course, March to October, franchise mode. But tell us a bit more about Diamond Quest. So this is a bit of a departure. This is almost like a card game, if you will, which is great because not only does your game every year have depth, but now it's got even more breadth as well.
Yeah, so we're always trying new things, and that can be difficult in a yearly cycle. And Diamond Quest was one of those things that was on the menu this year. It's a board game that lets you earn more players to add to your rosters. And how Diamond Quest works is it's a single player only mode you'll find in the menu of Diamond Dynasty, and you're presented with a board. And you try to navigate that board, completing challenges in exchange for treasure. We love roguelikes here. So if you played a roguelike, you'll notice some similarities there. And we want to keep everything, you want to keep everything you've earned, like you don't want to end your run. So there's that risk reward factor there. And you kind of have to beat that final mission, which is a stadium challenge, to be able to keep those rewards and take them.
Thanks for that. And I called it a card game because it looks like baseball cards that you would collect when you move along the board and you start playing through these challenges. So thanks for the clarification. It is not a card game. It is like a roguelike board game.
Yep, it's a roguelike board game where you earn cards and rewards.
Fair. Thanks for that. And you roll like a 6-sided die, right, to move along the squares.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's so cool. But at its core, if you're into baseball as a spectator or you play with your friends, whether it's a pickup game or in a league, at its core, you still can play as or against your favorite MLB team. But also, as you've touched on, there's so many other modes, more of a managerial mode, a collecting mode. There's the franchise, the storylines, going back in history to play as baseball's often overlooked legends of the game. There's so much to unpack here, but I'm going to ask you in a second, Ramone, what your favorite feature is out of everything that's new this year. We are chatting with Ramone Russell. He's with San Diego Studio. This is the folks behind the MLB The Show franchise, celebrating its 20th year, creating games not just for PlayStation anymore, but other consoles as well. So yeah, Ramone, out of all the new animations, and there's always so much added year after year to keep things fresh. And that's got to be a huge challenge as well, because on one hand, you don't want to veer away from what made the franchise so popular to begin with, but you also want to add some new elements in there to justify the purchase. So that's a fine line. That's an interesting dance. But with everything that's packed into the new game, what's your favorite? If I had to press you on one thing.
It would be the The entire package, because, we know that fans engage with MLB The Show in a multitude of ways. Some fans only play franchise mode. They won't touch anything else. Some fans only play Road to the Show. Some fans only play Diamond Dynasty. We have a subset of fans who only play Storylines Presents the Negro Leagues. So it behooves us to always try to improve every aspect of the game in major ways, since we're a yearly title. And now we can't do everything because we only have, a handful of months, but we always try to add something to every mode to make that fan happy. So it would be the entirety of the development cycle and the entirety of our feature set this year. That would be the thing that I love the most about the game this year.
And there's a couple of versions too, right? Isn't there like a digital deluxe version that has some extra content?
That is correct. Yeah, so we have a standard edition of the game, which is great for everybody. And we also have a digital deluxe edition of the game, which is kind of for our more hardcore fans. And what we do there is we give you a lot of value for a premium SKU. And that SKU really talks to our Diamond Dynasty crowd. And it's been a very, very popular SKU for us since we introduced it a few years ago. And it's probably something we'll keep doing. So no matter what you like, whether you just want to buy the base game or you want to jump into Diamond Dynasty, there's a SKU for you.
And is there a companion app as well this year? I think you introduced that last year, right?
There is a companion app. Yep. And you can go to theshow.com and you can learn everything there is to know about MLB The Show. And that's where you can sign up for the companion app and our scouting report, so you get emails about all the latest news involving the MLB The Show franchise.
All right. So it's simply theshow.com.
That's correct.
All right. Ramone, always great to chat with you. Thanks so much for your time, and congrats on the launch of yet another MLB The Show game in the franchise. Here's to the next 20 years.
Oh, hopefully. Thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate it.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with TP-Link to talk Wi-Fi 7, smart home gadgets, and more. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. There are many home networking brands out there that create wireless routers and other related products. So what separates TP-Link from the pack? Joining us on the line to talk Wi-Fi and other products for the home in the TP-Link family, we've got on the line David Lux, Marketing Director at TP-Link. Welcome to the show, David. Good to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Before we talk TP-Link, let's maybe chat at a high level about the importance of good Wi-Fi at home. I guess it could be argued it's the common thread between all of the devices we use today.
Of course. I always like to say that Wi-Fi is that unseen essential in our homes. If you think back 10 years, how many devices were actively using your Wi-Fi? Probably just a handful. A laptop, maybe a smartphone, and perhaps a tablet. Fast forward to today, it's not uncommon to have dozens of devices vying for bandwidth, including smart TVs, security cameras, thermostats, appliances, even electric vehicles. This surge is coinciding with dramatic increases in internet speeds. Additionally, today's smart home is complex. We have more devices than ever. We're seeing a surge in devices with increased accessibility, sophistication, integration capabilities. It's easier than ever to build a smart home thanks to do-it-yourself solutions like those from TP-Link that make it easy for homeowners to improve their homes without requiring professional installation. You have voice assistant integration and hands-free operation that have become very commonplace. And now we're on the cusp of AI-powered automation, which will bring a new wave of personalized experience within the smart home. So what I'm driving at is it is an exciting time in the smart home space. And I think good Wi-Fi is, of course, the foundation of that evolution.
Fair. Yeah, all good points. We have more devices on the network, and we also need faster Wi-Fi for things like 4K streaming, multiplayer gaming, AI applications, and so on. So TP-Link is probably best known for your networking gear. I know we're going to talk about some other products that you already hinted at, but please tell us a bit about the company.
That's right. We've been a leader in networking globally for a long time. We introduced innovations like the first Wi-Fi 7 router, and we continue to offer next-gen technology for our users and make those technologies more and more accessible. TP-Link is so much more than networking. We really are the complete smart home brand. We make award-winning, purpose-driven devices that includes vacuums and doorbells and lighting and a host of devices that users would use around their home. We also are unique in being a leader in wireless technology. We know how to get devices connected. After all, a smart home is only as smart as its network, and that's really what our wireless expertise provides.
All right, so we will talk more about the other products in a minute. I just recently reviewed the doorbell, a video doorbell with palm reading capabilities, which is pretty wild. But just going back to wireless internet, I guess today people are buying a new router. They're upgrading their router to maybe Wi-Fi 7. Maybe you could talk to us a bit about that. Or if they feel like they need to stay with their internet service provider, their ISP's router that they maybe rent or is provided by them, that they may augment that router with a mesh system that will expand the wireless connectivity throughout their home, blanket their home with broader Wi-Fi. So why don't we start there with what's available from you?
Yeah, great question. It's true. It's a competitive space. There's a lot of choices out there in this category. There are a few things that make TP-Link really unique in this area. First is the breadth and depth of our offering. In networking in particular, we have a host of devices from routers to mesh systems to extenders and more. Whatever you need, we probably have a solution for you. Making the latest technology accessible is also a hallmark of what TP-Link does really, really well. As I mentioned, not only were we first to market with a Wi-Fi 7 router, but we've continued building on what we call our Wi-Fi 7 for everyone mission. And we've introduced a variety of devices that support our users, covering virtually any use case, from small apartments to the largest homes, indoors, outdoors, and beyond, and at virtually every price point, from under $100 to $1,600. We take pride in paving the way for mass adoption of next-gen technology and making Wi-Fi 7 technology more accessible. The other thing that's really important to mention here is that what supports how we're able to come to market with such a competitive lineup of devices, the secret is vertical integration. What's common in our industry is outsourcing manufacturing to original design manufacturers or ODMs overseas. At TP-Link, the secret to our success is really simple. We make our own stuff. So instead of relying on ODMs or a third party or a middleman, we design, engineer, and manufacture components in-house. We even make products in our own factory in Vietnam. This allows us many advantages, such as going to market with new designs or new technology like Wi-Fi 7 very quickly. But that level of control also offers a host of benefits to end users in terms of quality, security, and of course, value.
We're going to continue chatting with TP-Link after this short break. But first, a shout out to SanDisk, an official partner of mine on Tech It Out. I always trust SanDisk solid state drives, USB thumb drives, SD cards, all that to back up my important files on a regular basis. But it's also fast enough to work off those drives as well. As a content creator, I always have external media from SanDisk plugged into my laptop and my mobile devices like phones and tablets. And I encourage you to do the same. SanDisk.com has more, including some great sales. More with TP-Link when we return after this short break.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
We are chatting with David Lux, marketing director at TP-Link. We're hearing about its networking equipment as well as other smart home devices. And then going back to the router and mesh systems, which again is a form of range extenders, I'd argue, that you mentioned earlier. There's also a Tapo app and parental controls. There's also cybersecurity built in or baked in to these devices too with something called Home Shield. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Definitely. So TP-Link has a great software experience to complement our hardware. That's also an advantage to making our own stuff, which gives us the ability to ensure the entire experience works seamlessly for our users. The Tapo app is a great example of that. From the front door to the backyard, one subscription-free app, the Tapo app, is kind of all you need to build a powerfully smart home. With hundreds of automations, compatibility with your favorite voice assistants, the app really provides effortless control over your smart home, and that's why millions of households use the app today. On our networking products, we have what we call Home Shield, which is a built-in service available on routers and Deco mesh systems, providing a home networking protection suite with network security, parental controls, reports on your network, and much more. We also have a Home Shield Pro tier that users can pay for, which adds more advanced network security, more detailed parental controls, device antivirus software, and a host of other features for users who want more protection and the ability to really configure their network to their needs.
For those listening who are in the market for upgrading their router or other home networking gear, what are some of the latest TP-Link products that they should keep in mind?
Well, how much time do we have? We do have quite a list. So how about I highlight a few that I'm really excited about. First, for networking, our Deco mesh systems have always been one of our most innovative products. These provide users with a seamless wireless mesh network that serves as that unseen backbone of any smart home. The latest additions to the Deco lineup include outdoor nodes, which let you extend Wi-Fi 7 coverage to the backyard, patio, or pool area, and ensure reliable performance in all weather conditions. Our smart home cameras are also one of my favorite devices, thanks to the breadth of features and form factors, flexibility of local storage, and access to advanced features without a subscription is huge. Out of the box, you have an amazing way to keep an eye on kids or pets, or just have a watchful eye over your property without taking the product home and being surprised by required subscriptions, although we do offer that as well for those who do prefer to store their data in the cloud.
Yeah, it's one of my pet peeves with some of the video doorbells. Companies that sell them, even some of the biggest ones, don't make it clear that if you want to look back in time to see who was at your door, whether it was 5 minutes ago or 5 days ago, you have to pay for that. Like, it's always free to talk live with someone who rings your doorbell, whether you're home or not. But if you want to see what time your teenagers came home last night, or if that package was delivered while you were at work, you have to pay. So it's good to hear that there's an option for TP-Link to have local storage.
Absolutely. And that's something that we hear from our customers all the time as well. The local storage capability is really a huge differentiator for those that don't want to be paying for that extra subscription when they really don't necessarily need it.
And then, David, before I let you go, tell us a bit about the Tapo Robo Vacs that you've got. I know that I just looked at one as well for a Yahoo article.
Yes, our latest generation of Tapo robot vacuums are getting a really warm reception from reviewers and users alike. There's so many vacuums on the market, and it's great to see the RV series getting recognized for its value. The Tapo lineup also includes wired and wireless smart doorbells. We have smart locks with multiple ways to access your home, and smart lighting solutions, just to name a few. So it's great to see us build on that great lineup of smart home devices with the full lineup of robot vacuums.
All right. Awesome. And then, David, where could we learn more about all of the products we chatted about today, be it networking gear or smart home tech?
Yeah, the best way to learn more is to check out tplink.com. That's tp-link.com.
tp-link.com. Great to chat with you, David. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your spring.
Same to you. Thank you, Mark.
And thank you, Tech It Out listeners on the radio or in podcast land. Thank you for tuning into a brand new show. Hope you enjoyed it with our 4 different guests. A big shout out to Visa. Thank you for your support. And it was awesome to attend the product drop in San Francisco on Wednesday for the official unveiling of Visa Intelligent Commerce. Very exciting future of shopping, leveraging AI agents to help save you time. And hey, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. today. Great week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another brand new episode of Tech It Out. Ciao for now.